Welcome to Gino's garage. Working on the long trailer here. We've got, as you can see, I'm going to show you what we're doing here, but this is a project in our trailer to store our extra spare tires so we can get them a little more room in the trailer. So that's the plan. So we're doing a little work here in the long trailer, our cargo trailer. I'm making two spots to recess for our spare tires. So 12R 22.5 or 315/80. We've got 11R 24.5, but there's going to be one in there and one in here. They're going to be recessed down below the floor, well, mostly below the floor. I'm going to have to raise this floor section up a little bit in the middle, which wouldn't affect the cars. The cars will be drive on the outside of it, but when it's all done, you'll see how it goes. But I've cut out the middle section. I'm going to be boxing in that area. But I'm working on right now putting a header piece. So you can see this piece. I had some pieces made just like these, and I reversed it inside here to make a box to stiffen these, to make them like a header. So that way this piece across here will go between it and will be you know, a little stiffer. These kind of tweak, you know. So once this is boxed out and welded in place, it'll be a lot stronger for these side pieces to go across. This piece here is going to go across the side and join that. And then, so, yep, this is where we're at right now. Get a little more done here in a bit. All right, so as you can see, we're moving right along here. It's very hard to video this stuff. I thought about setting up a tripod, but I mean, mainly I'm just fitting up and welding stuff, so it's not real exciting. So I've only got this one side rail here mounted currently, or welded. But I've got all these center rails boxed in, so I added another piece of steel on the back side, so that makes that real sturdy now. So it's going to carry the weight of these going across, you know, because the car tires will run over there. So I wanted to make sure that was really sturdy. But it's coming along. I've got all those headers welded in. I just got to weld in these other three side pieces, so that'll box out the opening, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do to make the mount for where the tire is going to sit. But so far so good. We're moving right along. Continue on. All right, so we got everything, all those side rails welded in. I'll do a time, probably just saw a time lapse of that. I recorded some of the welding of this, so won't get too close to my welds because I'm no welder, but I'm good enough. They hold. So we got that part of it done. Now we move on to the little rack for the tires. So we'll show you how that goes. Well, this has been a pretty successful day, so I didn't film a whole lot of this, but so I got the frame down in here. So this is going to be the framing for to hold the spare tire. It's just 1x1 angle iron that I have hanging down, and it's no lower than the axles there. And the axles don't move on this because this is a torsion bar suspension, so those axles are actually fixed. They don't actually move. It has a swing arm on the end of that axle, so it's not a big deal that we're close to the axle. But so that's what both sides are going to be like. I got to do that side. I'm going to put plywood in here to fill this in. It'll be plywood on all four sides, and then the bottom. So that way, and I'll paint it black. So that's going to be the cubbies for the tires. All right, so we're back at it, day 2. I got the other back. This one I got the lower frame all welded in, and then I've also added some extra supports. So here in these corners and there, so it makes it a little more rigid. I did that on this side too, on the sides. So I'm going to clean everything up now and put a coat of paint on everything inside of here. I had to make this bracket kind of a little offset bracket. Yeah, so I'm going to clean everything and then paint everything inside of here, so then I can start cutting the plywood and get it put in here. All right, so I got the plywood down. I already painted the back side. I just placed them in the bottom there. That's the bottom pieces. So I just took all my measurements for the side pieces. While that's drying, I'm going to go cut my side pieces that are going to go on the sides here. So we're coming along. We got all the metal painted. So it's all painted on the front side and the back side. All right, I'm gonna go cut some plywood. So here we are, we're making some more progress. I've got the bays totally plywooded out. And then right now I'm cutting these 2x4s. So they're gonna sit up above the floor. So that gives me enough depth for the tires. The spare tires that are going in here are too tall to fit. And I can't really go any lower. I'm already at the bottom of the axles, and I didn't want to make these boxes any lower than that, so on the bottom side. So I'm building them up, but the tires on the car will be outside of that. So they'll ride out here on this edge out here. And I've already measured the wheelbase of that. And I've also checked my golf cart will drive up on top of this. I'll have to make a ramp on either. I'm going to make a little ramp, probably metal ramp on either end, so that way I can drive up on this with stuff and my tool carts and stuff I can go over it with. But that's where we're at. I'm going to take these are the old floor pieces of plywood, so I got to cut the edges off of those to make these pieces to fill in these side gaps. So that'll just cut off of the sides of these, 6.5 inches on each side, and they'll go down there. And then the other part, I think I'm going to cut down the middle and make it like barn doors, so it'll open up this side and that side. So that's the plan. We're getting there. We'll keep on keeping on. All right, so we're moving right along. So I've got all the pieces painted, and I just finished caulking. I caulked these out all together, so hopefully road dust and dirt and debris doesn't get in there too much. Probably get some from the top, I'm sure, but at least that'll keep the stuff from the bottom. And then obviously I've got the pieces cut for the sides, and then those are going to be the doors that are going to go on top. I'll show that in a minute. But these are all built out, and you can see that that thing sits up above the floor a bit in order to accommodate the depth of the tires. So once all this caulking dries later this week, I'll be able to try out the tires in it. We're getting there, almost there. Gotta put some hinges on these doors, and that'll be about it. I'm probably gonna have to put some support on the inner edges of the doors where the seam meets, to help reinforce that. I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna use some aluminum angle maybe or something to stiffen those up a little bit. But it's coming along. Here we go. This is I think, well, pretty close to the finished product. So you can see those doors open up there. I've got the doors in the back. I've got a big gap there because I'm gonna put some aluminum angle on that to help support it. So I wanted some room for that aluminum angle to fit in there. So, but these doors are on there, so the doors will close up like that, and the two tires will be up under there. I don't know if you can, there you go, you can kind of see how that sits up. So that's the two little cubbies, and got these side pieces all secured and the aluminum trim piece back on. So that's all pretty much taken care of. And these will open up so you can get down inside of there. So that's pretty much it. All I got to do, I got to go underneath, and I had to cut some of the wires for the brake lines and stuff underneath to do some of the steel reinforcing. So I got to get under there and reconnect those lines, those brake power lines. So that wraps up this project. Appreciate you watching. If you want to see more content, we got more content coming this year, hopefully with some more Water Lodge content. So subscribe so you'll be notified when there's more videos out. And if you want to ring the bell or leave a comment, tell me what you want to see in the future. Try to do what I can. We'll see how this year goes. All right. We appreciate you watching, and till the next video, we'll see you then. I'm sure nobody would have been happy with me if I hadn't shown the ultimate purpose of these storage areas, and that's what it's for. So spare tires. So our Newell coach has two different size tires. That's a 11R 24.5, and that's a 315/80 22.5. So we have to have two different spares for the two different size tires. So I decided to build them into the floor of the trailer, and thankfully it fits just right. So there you can see just enough. I'm probably going to put a little rubber or something in between there so that aluminum wheel doesn't get torn up, but it's just the right depth. And now we have a good place to keep the tires out of the way until we need them.